What you will learn in this episode.
Unlock the secret to active recall. Discover why most learners forget what they read and the simple technique to finally make it stick.
Master memory boosting techniques. Learn how to turn catchy movie phrases into unforgettable vocabulary using proven recall strategies.
Supercharge your language practice. Find out how a 10-minute daily routine can transform passive watching into active learning without adding more.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at something really key for language learners. Active recall.
Right, because we all know that feeling, don't we? You read something, listen to a lesson.
And then poof, it's gone. Passive learning just doesn't seem to, stick very well.
Exactly. Our sources really highlight that. Information fades incredibly fast if you don't actively work with it. Reading it once, maybe twice, it often isn't enough.
So active recall is the fix, making the memories stronger.
That's the core idea. It's not just passive review. You're actually forcing your brain, kind of like exercising a muscle, to pull out the information.
Right, stimulating it to remember, not just recognize.
Precisely, and the science backs this up. Passive stuff mainly hits visual processing, but active recall, that gets the hippocampus involved, crucial for memory formation. It leads to much better long-term retention.
Okay, let's make this practical. First technique you mentioned, create your own questions.
Yeah, so after you study, say, some new grammar or vocab, and you've taken notes.
You turn those notes into questions for yourself.
Exactly, and here's the crucial bit. You try to answer them without looking back at your notes. That's the active part.
Ah, okay. And if you can answer, that's a good sign.
It's a great sign. Means it's starting to solidify. If you can't, no big deal. Just check your notes again and try the question later. It's part of the process.
Makes sense, like building those connections piece by piece.
And a classic way to do this, of course, is flashcards. Question on one side, answer on the other. Simple, but effective for that retrieval practice.
Okay, technique 2 involves spaced repetition. You mentioned tools like Anki.
Spaced repetition is, it's a really powerful memory technique on its own. It fights against the natural forgetting curve.
The forgetting curve.
Yeah.
Right, where you gradually forget things unless you review them.
Exactly. So tools like Anki, they show you, say, a flashcard or a question right before you're likely to forget it. The intervals get longer and longer today, a few days, a week, etc.
So it's strategic reminding.
Yes. And when you combine that with active recall, actually trying to answer the question each time it pops up.
That's the really effective combination for language learning, right?
Yeah.
Locking it in long term.
You got it. Active retrieval plus space timing. Very efficient.
Cool. Technique 3 was about using multiple sensory pathways, not just thinking.
Yeah, don't just recall it in your head. Engage other senses. For language, this is really relevant.
How so? Like, give me an example.
Well, instead of just thinking of a new word, try writing it down. The physical act uses different neural pathways.
Okay, so writing counts. What else?
Saying it out loud, practice the pronunciation, use it in a sentence, or even, pretend you're teaching the concept to someone else. Explain it verbally.
Ah, so speaking, writing, listening to yourself speak.
Yeah.
It all adds layers.
Precisely. More pathways mean a stronger, more accessible memory. Think about bonjour. Say it, write it, picture saying it. Much stickier.
Makes total sense.
Oh.
Okay, final one. Practice questions. Like grammar drills.
Yes. Things like grammar exercises, vocabulary quizzes, fill in the blanks, they are absolutely a form of active recall.
Because you have to produce the answer, not just read it.
Correct. You're pulling the rules, the words from memory and applying them.
And there's that added benefit too, isn't there? Yeah. Testing yourself, seeing if you really understand, and getting used to recalling under a bit of pressure.
Absolutely. Like simulating a real conversation or an exam situation. It's about applying and solidifying.
Okay, so let's quickly recap 4 active recall techniques. 1, create questions from your notes.
2, use spaced repetition, maybe with tools like Anki.
3, use multiple senses, write, speak, teach.
And 4, do those practice questions and exercises.
The big takeaway seems to be moving beyond just passively consuming language material.
That's it. Passive learning has its place, maybe for initial exposure, but active recall is what makes the knowledge yours.
So a challenge for you listening. Next study session, just pick one of these. Try creating questions or say things aloud or use Anki for a bit.
And just notice the difference in how you feel you're engaging with the material.
We think you'll find it makes a real difference in what sticks. Consistent active recall really can help you move from just knowing about a language to truly knowing it.